Hello, and welcome to our show for the love of animals. You better gather around. We have a great, uplifting show for you today. I'm Darleen Pickford.
And I'm Greg Bauer, and we want to tell our viewers about a couple of upcoming shows. One on cat behavior.
Ooh, okay.
And another one on training your dog.
All right.
And I think you'll find those very interesting. And you'll notice that our little friends are not with us today.
Oh,
they
yeah,
decided that they would take the day off today.
Angie and Wicked are home. They're vacationing, okay?
Okay, well, what do we have for the store today, Darlene?
Well, we have Paws for a Cause, Greg. It's a new newsletter in our area and to help homeless pets.
I've heard about that.
Well, yes, and we have their editors here today.
Okay.
Why don't you make the introductions?
I'll be happy to. Down to the right of Darlene is Lourdes Spencer, and to her right is her son Eric. And we'd like to welcome both of you today to the show, and so glad that you took time from a busy schedule. Producing a newsletter like this is very time consuming, so thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
And we've got two furry friends with us today, Greg.
Okay, let's see. Sadie is our yellow
Sadie
lab.
is our yellow lab back here. Oh, that's all right. Sadie's back here.
And she'll appear sometime.
Yeah,
and Lola is our little Pekingese there.
Peekapoo, I believe.
Peekapoo.
Peekapoo.
She's the hot mess.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to sit there with Lourdes, I think. So.
Tell us more about your fur family. There's two of them. Any more at home?
Yes, we have his dog. It's a...
He's a 100-pound golden retriever.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's about 9 years old. He still thinks he's a puppy.
He's a shelter dog.
Shelter dog,
Yeah, he's a shelter dog.
Okay.
I got him out in California. He made the move out here with me.
Oh, of course we bring our pets with us.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, my little first dog came from Montana with me when I moved to Indiana, so, okay.
Yeah. And we also have, right now, we have a foster beagle. And we have him with us because he's undergoing heartworm treatment at home.
Okay.
And when you say foster, it means you are taking care of him temporarily?
Temporarily. I pulled him out of the shelter.
Uh-huh.
And he's with us temporarily because he has to have low stress. We have to keep him crated. He just got his first shot on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's a very hard treatment to go through.
Oh, yes, heartworm treatment, and expensive also. So.
And then we also have some cats with us.
Oh, you do? Tell us about the cats.
We have 2 Bengals.
Ooh.
And we have that were rescued also.
Uh-huh.
And we have 4 other cats. One is his and one is mine, and then the other ones are all ours now.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor only.
Indoor. I understand. Angie, our little handicapped kitty who rules the roost around our place, would appreciate that, because indoors. Well, I was so enlightened when I picked up one of the issues of Paws for a Cause. I just thought it was wonderful. Tell me what's inside. What am I holding in my hand here?
We are trying to educate and bring awareness to the situation. Educate the community as far as vaccinate your pets, spay and neuter, which is extremely important, because if people spayed and neutered everyone, we wouldn't have this great of a problem.
Right.
The other thing is we're trying to bring awareness to the situation. There's so many shelter pets that need homes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and most people think just if you're in a shelter, everything's fine.
It's not, though.
All right,
And
elaborate. What do we know about that?
The shelters are extremely stressful for the dogs. And dogs that wouldn't necessarily be aggressive can turn aggressive in a shelter because of the high stress in there.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the ones that are more likely to be euthanized.
Right. And the people who run the shelters and all are so overworked because it's a 24/7.
They do work extremely hard.
Right.
At the jobs, but it's overwhelming because of a lot of owner surrenders, a lot of strays get picked up, and they just run out of space.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And you know, most of the dogs probably don't get walked. Cats don't get to climb high. They don't get fresh air and sunshine.
Exactly.
I mean, but they do try to take care of them and feed them.
Yes.
But
they
like
do
you say,
their basic needs.
Right.
And then at the new shelter, we've started organizing dog walking parties every Saturday.
Wonderful. And you mean the new one here in McCracken County?
Yes, in Paducah, yes.
Okay. All right. And tell us more about what will I find in this in this publication?
We are featuring a shelter now every issue. We're spotlighting either one rescue or one shelter to bring awareness for that particular shelter. They get more animals. We feature on the cover either a dog or the cat that needs a home. We try to make it a less adoptable animal on the cover. And then if you look inside, we work with 13 rescues and shelters, and we pick some of the animals that need adopting. And this particular issue is, we have a really nice article by Ann Bannister from Caldwell on fostering. And the great need for fostering animals. That's just pulling out one dog or one cat out of the shelter and keeping it in your home for a little while until it can be adopted.
Wonderful. But so not only will I have articles, but I will see pet pictures from, you said what, 13?
13.
Wow.
And we're going to see a list of those a little later.
Yeah, but in other, and they'll just steal your hearts, won't they?
Yes. And then we also do, we're also doing Happy Tales, and we're doing little stories now on animals that have really touched a lot of the people in the community's hearts.
Right. Okay. How is this profit, not for profit? How do you stay in business?
We are doing this strictly as a community service.
Oh my
Strictly
goodness.
as a community service. We don't charge enough for ads to make a profit, but we charge just enough to do the print bill.
Wow. And I can, on your last printing, how many?
We got 1,700.
1,700.
And that's for 2 weeks.
All right. So this comes out locally every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks, yes.
Well, every time I've picked up one, Greg, I have just been, this is wonderful, you know.
Well, I think what strikes you as you look at it is the quality of the articles, the quality of the information, and the quality of the production of it.
Oh, but
So-
just the fact that, I mean, these are pets that needs home, and someone sees that and has done something about it.
Well, my son and I really are very passionate about the animals. And we're both very passionate. He's the only one that does the entire newsletter.
Oh.
He
Wow.
works on it for hours and hours.
I can understand.
Well, we want to just take a quick break now.
Okay.
And
Or a happy tale, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And Lourdes mentioned one of these happy tales a minute ago, so our viewers will get a chance to see what Nitro is all about. And so give a listen.
Nitro is used to living with a family and sleeping in a bed with a little boy. For whatever reasons, Nitro was surrendered to the McCracken Humane Society. He always seemed terrified. He trembled, cowered, tucked his tail, and wouldn't walk. My heart broke every time I walked through that building. One night, I decided to feature him on our webpage, and Tammy posted, "I'm not looking for a dog, and not necessarily a coon dog, but I do have this little boy that would love to have one." Tammy went to the shelter and adopted Nitro shortly after. It took Nitro a while to adjust and get over his fears, but now he's living in Paducah with his own family and his own little boy.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that little happy tale about Nitro, and it's just wonderful the hope that someone will adopt this little guy, because he's a really neat sounding little dog. So we're talking with Lourdes and Eric Spencer, and Eric, how can, if people are interested in a newsletter, not only advertising, but if they have articles or things like that they'd like to write, how could they contact you and Lourdes?
We have our telephone number on each of the newsletters, and we also have a Facebook page set up.
Okay, and what is your telephone number?
It's 270-816-1787.
And what is your do you remember the
Yes,
Facebook?
it's facebook.com/Paws for a Cause Paducah.
Okay, and it's the number 4, right?
Yes.
The number
Paws
4.
and then the number 4 at Cause Paducah.
And if anybody wants to send these marvelous fat checks, what's the PO address as donation?
The PO address.
7533,
Okay, Paducah, Kentucky, and that's
42002.
Okay, all right. So that's how you can contact Paws for a Cause.
And they're going to have a website up in operation before too long.
That's right.
And so we can't give that information
Not yet.
but you can keep an eye out for it in the newsletter.
Yes.
And these newsletters are available where?
I distribute in Calvert City, Ballard, Metropolis, and all of Paducah. And I just drive down the streets, and I have a route, and I go into businesses and I go into a lot of restaurants.
Okay.
Because I'm figuring if people go in to sit, if they're waiting for their food, they can pick one up and they might just find a dog in there that, you know, reminds
right.
them of a dog they had at home. They can do this from wherever. It's in everyone's faces.
Okay. Now, and normally it would come out, what, on Mondays?
Every other Thursday.
All right, every
Other Thursday.
every other Thursday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, distribution takes about 5 days, so some places it's every other Monday or Tuesday
Oh, I see. Okay,
because
that's
because
right.
of the amount of time it takes to
Yeah.
distribute.
Oh gosh,
Yeah, the distribution takes a long time.
Do you have any helpers?
No. No, I do all that myself.
Oh wow.
And you know, a lot of times I will go to the shelter in the morning and photograph and then leave from there to distribute all day.
Okay. Which just leads to the question, as I look at this magazine, all of the pictures look so professional. They're in proportion and they show the dog's face, you know, they don't have a lot of extraneous. Who takes the pictures? You?
I do. Well, not all the shelters, but I take the McCracken Animal Shelter, the McCracken Humane Society. I've taken some for Project Hope and some for Marshall County.
Okay.
Okay. And when you get all of these pictures, who puts them all together and makes them look good?
Oh, that's me. I take all the pictures and I crop them down so that way
Right,
that
they
way
look proportional.
Yeah, they look proportional, and I crop them all down. I resize them all, and I put them into the boxes, and I add their information, the name of them, what shelter they're from.
Right. And then also who does the advertising in the publication? I mean, who does that part of it? You also? You're a one-man show, aren't you?
Yeah. A lot of people will have the business card they want to use, and then some people, if they need an ad designed, I'll design it for them and
Like
and
this
use
one.
it that way. Yeah, like hers.
Marcia Thatcher.
Okay. And
Yeah,
so-
she needed that designed herself. But other people like Artisan Kitchen or something, they have a business card that they would rather use, and so I put that in there.
Okay.
But either way is fine with us.
And one of the things we might mention to the viewers here, that if any of them would like to help you with the distribution and or providing stories, they should contact you.
Yes.
That's right. That's
We
why we
would
have
love
all that
that.
good contact information.
We would love
Yes.
that.
Tell us about some more success stories as a result of this publication or your work.
There was a dog named Gretchen that was pulled out of the Humane Society by the Healing Place. She was pregnant. Her name was Madonna at the time. She was pregnant, and Creatures Great and Small came in because they didn't think she needed to be in a rescue or any, in that type of situation. So they pulled her out, took her home, and were fostering her until she had all her babies, which they all died. But they also brought in a Saint Bernard that was pregnant and had her babies, and one got stuck inside of her, so they had to have surgery. She couldn't nurse them, so they gave all the babies to Gretchen, and she nursed all the babies, and they kept taking her over and over to the adoption events, and no one ever adopted her until she made the cover.
And she
my.
now has a forever home.
She does.
How
She does.
wonderful. That is really great. Any other stories particularly that touched your heart lately?
Haas.
Oh, Haas.
You have that one.
Yeah, you're right.
We're
Right.
gonna
Yeah.
see
Yeah, we're
Haas
going to be
in just a
talking
couple
about
minutes.
Haas.
Yeah, Haas is wonderful.
That-
And then we also have Beauty, a pit bull that apparently it looked like someone dumped her, and she turned to be blind.
Oh.
So, and she just got adopted by a little girl
Oh.
and a mother in here in Paducah, and they go to the shelter every Saturday. I've been seeing them. They still come back to the shelter to help walk shelter dogs.
Oh, how wonderful. That
Yeah, the number of stories is growing
is it.
day by day.
There's just some dogs that really don't belong in a shelter.
Well-
They're too stressed out.
Yeah.
Some can take it a little easier than others.
Absolutely, but also too, sometimes you walk in there and sometimes that dog or that cat speaks directly to you. You may
Yeah.
not be a dog person, but you walk in and there's a dog that says, "I'm going to change that," and it's a wonderful bond.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
exactly.
is a wonderful bond.
Our fur family is living examples of a number of those
of
situations.
rescue work. I mean, I really admire this because I take them all home, you get to a point where you want to take them all home, and
I
after a
have-
while you realize you can't.
I have been forbidden to even bring home a butterfly.
Yeah, well, yeah, we that was ours. That
We had a
was
bigger house.
we put a quota, and then we read in the paper about a
Well-
dog, and in the back of this paper, there's this poor little blind kitty that that needed a home. We look anyway.
We
She's
went-
with us now.
We
Well,
went and got her.
even after he forbid me, I find that it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. And I came home. I came home with Hunter
Yes.
to foster.
Yes.
Well, speaking of the shelter and rescue, I notice you have a list here. Read that list. Tell us some of the shelters, some of which I was not familiar with. Do you have a?
Yeah, we have the Benton Marshall Humane Society,
Which is a no-kill shelter.
Okay,
Bluegrass Boxers,
okay,
Caldwell County Animal Shelter, Creatures Great and Small,
right. That's okay.
Crittenden County Animal Shelter, Greyhound Pets of America Nashville, Heartworm Happy, Humane Society Animal Shelter, Marshall County Animal Shelter, Mary Hall Ruderman Canine Shelter, Mayfield Graves Animal Shelter, McCracken County Animal Shelter, and Project Hope No Kill Shelter.
That's a very complete
Impressive
list, we think.
And out of those, all of those, 3 of them are no-kill,
3 of them.
which is Project Hope, Mary Hall Ruderman, and Benton Marshall.
Okay.
okay. I'm familiar with Project Hope Metropolis. It is a physical shelter.
Yes.
Okay. They take in cats and dogs, and bless their hearts are always full. Creatures Great and Small, in contrast, is a fostering network. No physical shelter, but volunteers. Tell me about some of these other shelters that you know about.
Bluegrass Boxer Rescue and Greyhound Pets of America are also rescues.
Right.
They have no physical. And
No
they
physical
work,
shelter.
They work out of with fosterings.
Right. Of that particular breed, and
Yes.
is what they
They
special.
only Creatures Great and Small takes everything.
Oh, I know. They do.
Bluegrass Boxers only with boxers, and the Greyhound is only Greyhound.
Right.
Greyhound, yeah.
I'm sure
They're
those.
more breed specific.
Right. Right. Well, my hat's off to all of these agencies that are trying to.
They operate with with
I know.
no funding,
I know.
and it's all donations. and
Donations
out
and
of their own
volunteers.
pocket and volunteers. They take the time to go to PetSmart for adoption events,
That's right.
and they are feeding and taking care of all these animals on their own.
Yes.
It's just amazing the work that they do. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well.
Wow. We're not ready for Happy Tale, are we?
Yes, we are.
My goodness, where's the time going?
Well, this is one about Haas.
Okay.
That, Lourdes mentioned a little bit earlier, so give a listen.
Haas lived in the McCracken County Humane Society for about 2.5 years. He was removed last November and taken to a temporary shelter called The Healing Place. Haas was heartworm positive and suffered from separation anxiety. He would destroy his surroundings if left alone, so they decided to crate him. Haas was persistent though, and he found his way out of those crates. He was adopted, but quickly returned because of his anxiety. The Healing Place was on the verge of closing, so one of the ladies, Michelle Freeman, took him home to foster. Haas quickly adjusted and decided that this was going to be his new home. He was so happy and content that he won over their hearts, and now Haas has a loving family to call his own.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that little happy tale about Haas, and that's a very heartwarming story. This afternoon, we're talking with Lourdes and Eric Spencer, who are publishers of
Right.
a wonderful
Wonderful.
publication called
Paws
for a Cause. And it's one that's being distributed now in the area, and so our viewers will maybe have a chance to
Pick up
do
a copy.
something and pick up a copy, and also, more importantly, maybe adopt a pet.
That's right.
So, okay.
Well, Greg, let's tell our viewers how to get more information about it. Eric and Lourdes, if somebody wanted to send you a big fat check, what's your post office address?
It's 7533
Okay.
Paducah 42002.
Okay.
And if I wanted to call you and get more information, or maybe take out an ad, The telephone number.
It's 270-816-1787.
And understand you're on Facebook, right?
Yes.
And your
Yes.
Facebook?
The Facebook is facebook.com/Paws and then the number 4, a cause Paducah.
Okay.
And the Facebook page actually has a lot of activity every single day.
I know.
All of the updated pictures go immediately onto Facebook. People comment and share and cross-post.
And we're having a smiling dog contest right now.
Right, and so in other words,
Oh.
is all of this on Facebook?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, how wonderful.
Not the articles, but
Right, but the
the
pictures.
pictures
The
of all the adoptable
Yeah, the
dogs.
pictures.
And right now we're looking for a foster for a dog from the McCracken Animal Shelter. We're trying to pull him out to get him treatment named Colonel.
Okay.
So his picture's on there, and the smiling dog contest, whoever gets the most likes, their own dog will be on here.
Oh, how sweet.
Okay.
Well, our little handicapped newcomer at home, well, she's been with us for 3 years, Angie, knows what it's like to be homeless. She knows what it's like to be probably hit by a car.
Yeah.
She knows what it is to be in a shelter. She's been through the gamut. So she looked at me and she told me and Greg that we were to give
Oh,
you
thank
this
you.
donation
Thank you.
so you can help homeless pets, particularly homeless cats, maybe find a good home.
Thank you so much.
Well, you're very
You're very
welcome, and I
welcome.
hope
and we will put your name on here,
that's
in here, every issue for
that's
a year.
well, we can put it's from Angie. But anyway, please accept that donation from
Thank you so
myself and
much.
Greg goes in support of what you are doing. We think it's
Thank
a
you.
great effort. I mean, when you've got the skills of photography and publication, you put them together for a good cause.
And as we mentioned earlier, remind our viewers that could use some help with distribution and just any number of
Any
things,
volunteer,
articles
yeah.
and
Dependable people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, articles in particular, because we've been getting articles from local vets.
Also.
Local vets and anyone who pretty much will write something for us.
Right.
Or if they're at the shelter and they get an animal adopted, we would love to get their picture.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you're in the process now of featuring various shelters.
Every single issue, we're spotlighting either a shelter or a rescue.
Okay.
And that way it gets their information out there.
Okay.
And where can our viewers find the publications?
Yeah, let's repeat that.
You mean the cities or the
Yeah, where
places?
can I pick this up?
In Paducah, it's courthouse, library, almost every restaurant.
Okay.
Just about every restaurant, every car dealership, not car dealership, car place.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah, I found some of these in my church.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
someone must have brought them in.
Yeah, right.
At the supermarkets. We hit the supermarkets really big,
Okay.
really hard. There's certain places that we hit harder than others.
Okay, and this comes out about every 2 weeks.
Every other Thursday.
Every other
And
Thursday.
then on Thursdays when I start distribution, and it takes me until Wednesday of the next week.
Wow.
And that's even on Saturdays. I do some on Saturdays too.
Oh.
And doctors' offices, dentists, grocery stores. I hit everything. I hit as much as I can.
That is what. Well, as this publication, you're in what issue now, if I may ask?
The latest one is issue 14.
Issue 14.
So it's been about 7 months.
Okay. As you continue this, how is it changing?
We've gotten a lot more support from the community. We've been able to get more and more articles written.
Uh-huh.
We've started to perfect like the layout and how
Right.
everything should look and getting better pictures.
And we're also featuring someone from the community on the cover every time.
Ooh. Yes, I noticed Michelle Fowler was on there, and as a groomer and as a rescuer, I mean, she is super.
She's
does
been a
a
guest
lot.
several times
Yeah.
on our
Oh,
show.
yes. She's been in that seat before.
Yes.
As you publish this, what problems are arising? Tell me, like you said, distribution, the amount of time.
The amount of time, when I get advertisers, sometimes I don't get paid.
Okay.
They don't send the money in right away, so every 2 weeks I'm stressing to make sure that there's enough money, because the money just strictly goes to
Paying the cost of publication.
paying.
Yes.
It does not cover anything for us at all.
Well, and we should mention also that you're in the process of becoming a nonprofit organization,
right.
so that any contributions, anything like that, will soon be tax-free.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But you
deductible.
going
We're classified as a nonprofit, but it's status pending.
status
Still.
status pending.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a board and we have the 3 people that we need on the board and everything. That's all set up. And we're an LLC also.
Okay.
Well, I just think that your purpose is to help homeless pets find homes.
It's our passion.
Right, and you know, it's so successful.
Right now, we're combining. I was a photographer in California. My love of photography, my absolute love of animals,
Exactly.
and I have always had a desire to help. And he feels the same way, but his talent lies in graphic arts.
Yeah, but
So.
putting the two together, I mean, I just think I think it's wonderful.
It's a wonderful team that you have.
Yes, you are so
It's
fortunate.
a win-win situation.
Yes.
And it's giving back to the community also. We wanted to turn everything into a positive, and we love living in Paducah.
Oh, we do too. Briefly, how can fellow animal lovers help you?
Just supporting us. Just,
Either good dependable labor or a good dependable check, right?
yeah. Yeah, the support means the world.
Yes.
Yeah, businesses can advertise. That's one way that really helps to support us,
Right.
because the more businesses that we can get to advertise, the longer we can keep the publication
And
And
going.
there's hardly any left at the places either.
Oh,
when
I
I
know
go
it.
back, they're gone.
Well, yes.
That's-
When I see one, I pick it up. In fact, that's where I found out about you. In summary, what one point would you like our viewers to remember about Paws for a Cause?
We are a community service, and we're trying to help as many shelters and rescues as possible, getting the word out to the animals that need homes or need fostering, or to the shelters that need people to help them, just as we do.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful thing that you're doing, and it's something that Paducah, to my knowledge, has never had before. But right now, you're filling a void with
You
no
really
question
are.
whatsoever.
Absolutely. So,
Well, unfortunately,
is it time? I
yeah,
can't believe
it's
it.
time.
I
We're
can't
just
believe
really
it.
getting started, but we'd like to thank you, Lourdes and Eric, so much for taking time out and
Miss
talking
Lola.
about your
And-
wonderful project that you have here, and also your 2 friends, Sadie and Lola. And so thank you
Thank
again
you so
for
much
coming
for
today.
coming and
Thank
for
you.
what
It was
you're
a
doing.
pleasure to be here. Thank you. It was
If
nice
you've
to
got
meet you.
family in California, please bring them here because we need more like you.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Well,
I can't believe it.
and
All right.
That's right. In closing,
I'm Darlene.
And I'm Greg, and we want our viewers to remember what we tell you every time, and don't forget it. Give your pet a little extra love today
And every day.
See you next time.
Bye.